Howdy, howdy, howdy. It's Monday, January 31st, 2022, and welcome to the Bob and Barry Preview Show. Say hello to my co-host, Mr. Barry Cummins.
Hey, everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope you're doing well today. Good to be with you.
Yeah, hello, Randall Santa Checker. Lee, how are you today, sir? Hi, Tom Court McGillia. He says he hears the music. At this point, let's go ahead and move to our next thing that we're going to do at this point. This is our brand new segment for the Bob and Barry Show. This was brought to you by Tom McGillia. You know, I've said his name a million times, and it's the second time I've messed it up. Anyway, he is a sponsor for the Bob and Barry Show, and at this time, we are going to do a trivia question. So, Barry, shoot it at him.
All right, here we go. Thank you, Santa Tom, for your sponsorship. And today's question is: the red and white costume of Father Christmas was allegedly first introduced by which drinks manufacturer? The red and white costume of Father Christmas was allegedly first introduced by which drinks manufacturer? See who's got this one here. And the winner also received from Santa's Closet a nice little Santa key. On one side, I think it says Santa Claus, and on the other side, it has like a three-dimensional head of Santa on there. So, no, it's not Pepsi. Any other guesses? The red and white costume of Father Christmas was first introduced by which drinks manufacturer? Any more guesses out there? Should we give him a hint?
Tom answered his own trivia question.
Yeah, Tom, you don't count, buddy.
I guess he wants to win one of his own keys. Court Amiga, yeah.
All right, who's that other Facebook user that has Coke there?
That's Santa Marcus.
Santa Marcus.
And wait a minute, nope. Coca-Cola first one was Tanya Hayes. Tanya Hayes had it first.
All right. Congratulations, Tanya. We'll get your address, and Tom will ship that out to you.
That's right. That's, again, a brand new segment brought to you by Tom. That's
SantasCloset.org.
Yes, we want to thank him so much for sponsoring the Bob and Barry Show. He is a vendor. For those who may not know, I think everybody does know Tom, but he goes to most of the big events and has a gigantic booth, has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trinkets, toys, hats, socks. I think he's got a little bit of everything. So anytime you think about something that you may need, think about Tom.
And all right. Congratulations on the 2021 Santa Claus Hall of Fame, Tom.
That is correct. And so I was going to say, let's talk about tomorrow night. When I say next week, I should say tomorrow night's Tuesday Night Live show. We have a very special guest that we're bringing on for that one. He's watching right now. You want to tell him about it, Barry?
Absolutely. We got John D. Williams with us for tomorrow night. He's a author of a book called The Character of a Man Named Claus. He likes to talk on ethics. That's going to be a good talk. And also, he's on the behind the scenes of the Santa family reunion in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. He's going to tell us a little bit about that. And the dates on that is April 15th through 20th of 2023. So it's going to be great to have John on there with us and imparting his wisdom of his Santa career and as an author, and also working in the background of these big conventions. Going to be a good interview.
That's correct. And we may have a big announcement coming for the Santa family reunion here once we lock this in. don't want to mention it until we have it 100% for sure. But looks like we may have a big announcement coming for that event. Again, that's 2023. That's a little ways out. We've got plenty of things to talk about and think about between now and then. You want to tell them about the next, I don't know, let's say the next 4 weeks guest?
Yeah, next 4 weeks, we got an exciting guest for you on the Tuesday Night Live program. We got on the 8th, Stuart Deacon Jr. It's going to be a great interview. A lot of you know Stuart, and he does a lot of, he has his own school. He does a lot of speaking at conventions and other schools, and does a lot with background lighting and filming and stuff. So he's a great interview. Got Mitch Allen of Hire Santa coming up with us. Mitch is a friend of the shows. He's been with us several times. Going to get a little bit of feedback on how the 2021 season was, and some the good and the bad and the ugly maybe on that, and some maybe what 2022 is going to look like for Christmas. We're going to have Santa Lee Penberthy. Santa Lee's a very young Santa. And I like to say he's little in stature, but he has a heart of a giant. And then we have Bruce Templeton coming up after that on March the 1st. He's an author, and he's going to impart some wisdom from his 30-plus years as a Santa. So we have a great lineup for y'all coming up.
Bruce was one of the keynote speakers at the ISC, IBRBS ISC in 2018. There in Denver. Fantastic gentleman, super nice, talented, been doing it a long time, got a lot to share with us. And I know you wasn't going to, Barry, but let's, I guess, go ahead and throw out the next couple of weeks there. Coming up after that, we have Michael Howell. He's up part of the MAPS organization. You may have heard Santa Melissa if you watched last week's show. The Tuesday Night Live show, she talked about going up to the MAPS. Michael was part of that organization. Randall, Santa Checker Lee and him are good friends, know each other well, part of that organization also. And then the week after that, we got Larry Jefferson, another inductee to the 2021 Hall of Fame. So we just keep bringing the Hall of Famers in here and sharing their knowledge with everyone. Hello, Heather Thatcher Gordon. Say hi to her. She's watching today.
And also coming up the 2 weeks after Larry is Sherry Heath, and So Santa. She's also a part of the, she's a great Mrs. Claus and a part of the Santa family reunion there in Gatlinburg also. So that's going to be a great interview. That's
correct. And again, we have a running list of those, and we're constantly updating that to the top of the Sat Bob's Live group. It's pinned to the top. Last year's date, guest, and episode number is on one post, but they're both pinned to the top of the page, and then upcoming guests and guests we've already had this year up there also. Someone said that it would have saved Tom on the shipping if he had won it. Because he was just trying to help someone else out. He knew he couldn't win it. Very good, Tom. Again, thank you for that very much. And so we've got some great shows coming up. Absolutely excited about each and every one of them. Each one is a little bit different interview. We try to mix the questions up, and then a few that we like to repeat. But always trying to keep the questions tailored to the guest. And so with JD this week, tomorrow night, we got some great questions already set up. The questions are ready to go, and he has submitted a little bit of information for us, like we always ask, a short bio and a few things you want to talk about, and we put our questions around that. So, and JD, I'll be sending you a copy of that either late tonight or early in the morning so that you can look it over.
And if you have somebody you want to see on the show or know somebody that'd be a great interview, get in contact with Bob or myself, and we'll try to get them on here, because we're all about the learning and trying to learn from others. It helps everybody be better. And when that happens, the children win and the families win.
Oh, yeah. And I see this a lot on Facebook is folks will be talking about the different Santa schools and who's got the best school and which one have you been to and which one would you highly recommend? Well, the thing about it is we always say at Sat Bob's, you can't take too many schools. Pick one or two a year if you can afford to. Do one a year. But mix them up, go to different ones. There's so many different aspects of schooling out there, different people, different ideas. learn. But the one thing that seems to be the most common in all of those threads across Facebook is how much you learn from the face-to-face with other Santas and the instructors in the class. Before class, during breaks, lunchtime, after the class is over each day, just sitting around talking, sharing ideas, networking, mentoring, you may call it that. But that's the one thing that's common in all those threads. Is the one thing that everyone takes away is the fact that they can learn from each other. And I don't care how long you've been doing it or how short of a period you've been doing it, everyone has something to contribute. And fresh ideas sometimes are great ideas. And some guys that's been doing it forever have been through the trials and tribulations, and they share the why you don't do this and why you don't do that and why you do this and why you do that type of scenarios, which is a great help to all of us.
Yeah, each school you'll learn something a little bit different. There's common things on all of them, but you'll each school kind of has their little specialties. But like I say, you can't overeducate yourself. Take those classes, and like I say, I've been in classes where we've had a brand new Santa that's never done it before, and then had one that's maybe been a Santa for 50 years, and the guy that's been a Santa for 50 years say they got a tremendous amount out of the class, and along with the first year Santa. So that's great.
Yeah, for Sat Bob's, when we do a Sat Bob's class, be it a 2-day or even our 3-day that we did last year in Oklahoma City, we always pass out index cards at the end of Sunday, and we ask the students, give us good, bad, or indifferent. What would you like to see us do next time if you came back? And that's how we build our school around that, because we want your input. Same way on the show. If you have any ideas or anything that you want to talk about or input, share it with all of us, because that's what we are all about, sharing and teaching and learning and making all of us elevate us all to a higher level.
Absolutely. That's right, Randall. Says fantastic connections, friendships, and memories attending Santa schools. We can always learn something. That's right. And when you get to the point to where you don't think you can learn and you know it all, that's probably the time you need to get out of it.
That's true too. Again, when we have our classes, that one thing I love most is you face to face. So it's not like you're behind the keyboard. You can look at someone's profile picture. You may get to know them pretty well, from conversations on the keyboard. But when you get face to face, you really have that one-on-one connection. They kind of become a much better friend if they're not already. But you learn so much about each other. And you mentioned about the 50 years. We have had so many tell us after class that they've been doing it for years and they learned something from the class. And that always makes us feel good, because going into it, we want to make sure that, they're not coming into class and not getting anything out of it. We want to make sure they get something to carry away with them.
And what's great, the camaraderie you make at these classes and stuff, just like the ones that I've taken, for example, as I make connections with people that say, hey, I saw there's a job in your area, since I know you, check on it. And I've gotten jobs that way from the camaraderie of meeting people in these Santa classes.
Oh yeah, that's a big part of it too, is being able to share. There's always going to be jobs that you may not be able to cover, may not be in your area. Someone from Alabama may call me wanting to, me to do a gig for them, and of course I would call Barry and say, hey, you're right there, give them a holler. And again, the ISC and the family reunion coming up in Gatlinburg, those are great opportunities for learning. Also, there's workshops. And as I said last week, my biggest and fondest memory, and where I learned the most from the ISC in 2018, was just sitting around in the lobby at night or going to eat at the restaurant and talking to other people, getting them to meet new people that I knew of or had heard of on Facebook, but really didn't get to know until, you sit down and break bread with them.
Absolutely. You meet some cool people at those conventions.
Yes, you do. Sure do. So we've got a fantastic season headed up for you. We're working on some new stuff, as always, trying to keep it interesting and fun. And tomorrow night's show is going to be pretty cool with J.D. Williams. Looking forward to that. And he put up just a moment ago one of the slogans that he likes to use: "A man without ethics is a wild beast loosed upon the world." And that was from Albert Camus, 1913 through 1960. And that's one he uses quite a bit. He and I have had some long conversations about ethics. And again, I hate to keep falling back on the Sat Bob School, but we've got a whole chapter in one of Gordon's books about ethics. And when I start off my Saturday morning as the instructor for a class, I tell everyone there's 2 chapters that really stand out in this school, and that is one of them. Ethics is a big deal in the Santa community. It's real easy to catch yourself doing some things that, as a new guy, that you wouldn't think twice about because you didn't understand the protocol within the Santa community. I'll tell you a quick one, something I almost done my first year. I was sent to a job down in Austin, Texas by one of the top agents. And the very first day, the woman and man who owned the company that I had went to work for down there, where the Santa, it was an outdoor set, was set up at, was trying to get me to sidestep the agent. And, they just kept on. And I told them, I said, that's just something I'll have to think about. And then I kind of asked a couple of questions to a couple of people, and they said, boy, that's the last thing you want to do. You cut an agent out, and they will talk to other agents, and they will blacklist you, and you won't work unless you do your independent stuff. But you won't work for another agent because none of them will be able to trust you. So that's just one of the things that we talk about when we talk about ethics.
Here's one I've got. This past Christmas, I had a daycare that I'd done Santa for in the past, and they kind of called late, and I was unable because I was already booked. But I posted it in my local Cotton State Santas group. Had another Santa pick that up, and he didn't show up for the event. So, I'm working, and the lady calls me up in tears. This guy that I hired, didn't show up. Do you know how to get in touch with him? That's just plumb out sorry right there, to leave those children hanging like that without calling or anything. So, that's not good on ethics.
Yeah, you've got to be true to your word. If you take a gig and later on you find a gig that pays 3 times more, you can't cancel that first gig to take the more, better paying gig. That's just unethical. So that's another one of the things we're talking about right there. All right, Barry, what else you got for us? Anything this week?
That's about it, man. The weather's nice and warm today here in Alabama. I did see where y'all fishing to have a polar event coming in there in your Texas area there.
Yes, we are. It was 70 plus degrees yesterday. I think we're right there close to 70 today. Partly cloudy, sun's out right now. But come Wednesday night, we're supposed to get extremely cold weather and ice storm hitting first. That will be a prolonged event, they say. It's strengthening, and then snow on the backside of that. So they're already putting out all the warnings for down power lines and that sort of thing. Be prepared. So we got our generator ready, got gasoline for it, and just hunker down and make our way through it. But it's crippling. Here in Texas, people do not know how to drive on snow, and many of them think just because they do know how to drive on snow, they get out on ice, and it just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. As we saw,
Exactly.
What was it, a couple of years ago, that big pile up on the interstate that took a bunch of lives?
Yeah, 6 people passed away in that deal. That was last year, and that real similar to what we're fixing to get this year. And they had treated that particular bridge, but it still froze over, and you crested up on top of the top of the bridge, and they just started piling in trucks, cars, and I think it was close to 100 vehicles. And it was,
y'all be good and keep it out there and keep it away from Alabama. Will y'all take that?
Yeah, well, I know it's supposed to sweep up through your area. I don't know if you'll get the southern end of it or not, but I know just north of you, the Memphis and Nashville areas are probably going to get hit all the way up through the Ohio Valley and Mississippi Valley. So it's going to be a tough one.
When
How about the East Coast? The East Coast got hammered, this week too.
Yeah, they did. We have those weather systems like that. I really don't miss being a pilot and flying the line.
Oh, I bet. Had to fly out and around all that mess, and
de-ice and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah, I think that's if you can get back down on the ground. You know, they don't cancel the flights beforehand, and you get out there and then you run into that. JD says people with integrity do what they say they are going to do. Others have excuses. That is so true, JD. So very true.
Going to be an awesome interview.
Yes, it will. JD is a fantastic Santa, great Christian, great friend, and he's got quite a story to tell. So we're looking forward to tomorrow night. And you know, I know everyone on here that's watching probably knows, but hey, 7 p.m. Central Time tomorrow night, Tuesday Night Live show. Can't miss it.
That's right. It's going to be a great interview. Looking forward to hearing from him.
You know, we started both of these shows last year. This show here was just kind of going to be come in and make a quick announcement, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes max of our next week's upcoming guest, because we weren't telling ahead like we have this year where we put our guest out in advance. We were waiting till Monday before Tuesday night to tell who our guest was going to be, kind of one of those cliffhanger type of deals. And this year we thought, hey, let's do something a little different. Let's go ahead and get it out there, let people prepare and know who we're going to have. And, you know, if they want to make it every week like Randall does, you know, you can do that, or pick and choose if you just want to come in for a certain one. I do got to say one thing, though. Melissa last week was a fantastic interview. Santa Mel is one of our top rated shows so far in, heck, the last 6 months, 7 months. The hit counter on that one has gone crazy. And the Bob and Barry show last Monday, one of our better hit counters on that one too. So I think the second season here has finally, the word is finally starting to get out, and more folks are finding out about us being on here. And you know, you tell one friend, and that friend tells two friends, and that friend tells four, and you know how the old hair shampoo commercial went. It was kind of the same thing. I think word is finally getting out. We're finally getting more and more people, if not watching live, but just coming back and watching the replays, which is fantastic. Makes us know that at least our work is getting shown out there, and what we're bringing to you is relevant, and folks are liking it. So they wouldn't come back each week if they didn't.
I just got a call that I'm so excited about. My favorite elf is on the way over. Get to see my little buddy.
Oh, cool. Tell her I said hi.
I will do that. But yeah, tomorrow night we're going to have John D. Williams. If you joining us late, he's going to talk about the Santa Family Reunion Gathering in Gatlinburg from April 15th to 20 in 2023. He's also author of a book called The Character of a Man Named Claus, and we're going to be talking on ethics. So it's going to be a great show for us, and hope everybody joins us in the Sat Bob's Live Facebook group at 7 p.m. Central Time tomorrow night. Hope to see you all there.
That's correct. And every Monday right here at 3 p.m. Central, the Bob and Barry Show, brought to you by santascloset.org. That's santascloset.org, Tom Cormagilia. And I got it right that time. And we want to thank him once more. And our winner of the trivia question, just send me or Barry your shipping address, and we'll get that over to Tom. He'll get your key out to you. It's a cool little key. We was going to have a picture of it today. I got to tell everyone, a few weeks ago we had an extreme wind event here, and I've got an 8-foot wood privacy fence in the back. It's been up 32 years. You know, it's getting old, and the 4x4 post didn't take the wind, snapped about 4 or 5 of them off right at the ground. And so that's what we've been doing, is trying to prop the fence back up, repair it. Went and bought the material to replace at least 2 sections. We built them from scratch and putting in new metal posts. That way we won't have that problem again. So that's what we done yesterday. It's what we've done all morning this morning. Got up at 7:30, got busy, and stopped long enough to come in and do the show. And as soon as the show's over with, then we make connection with JD to make sure he's going to have a good internet connection. Then it's back out there till dark time working on the fence. And something we'll be doing probably tomorrow before this next system comes in, and I'm sure, you know, with the ice and the snow, that it'll be probably maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday before we get back out there. But it's something I've got to do. Woke up one morning and actually in the middle of the night in the fence was laying over in the alleyway behind us. So got to have the backyard secure. That's where we park our cars and things.
Just remember, you're 68, not 38, Bob, when you're out there working now.
Gosh, I know. And if it wasn't for my daughter and son-in-law giving me a hand and my wife, we'd all be in trouble because I wouldn't get very far without their help, believe me. Not sure who the Facebook user is. Hello from Louisiana.
Maybe Bob and Beth. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be Bob and Beth Collins, more than
Hello
likely.
down in Louisiana. A lot of people may know I'm a graduate of Louisiana Tech University, professional aviation. So lived in that state a few years. I enjoyed my time down there.
Yes, and Bob and Beth live in Halton, Louisiana. They're a suburb of Shreveport, and got a real nice place and a whole bunch of Christmas trees in the backyard that they planted. All right, guys, I think we've been on here about 30 minutes. That's about all we ever do on the Bob and Barry Show. So I think we're going to wrap it up. We've told you everything we wanted to tell you. Anybody got any questions or any comments? If you got any questions for JD that you would like for us to ask, type them in or send us a PM. We'll add it to the show tomorrow night and give you credit for your question. Again, thank you, Tom, Randall, Checker Leith. Thanks for always being with us. And thanks for everyone for taking a few minutes out of your day to drop in on a Monday afternoon. And we hope to see everyone tomorrow night. I always like to say, what else you going to do on a Tuesday night? So, all right, Barry, you want to tell them what we're going to do?
Yeah, all right. Hope to see y'all tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Time, Sat Bob's Live. And remember, we do this because we care. God bless you. See you tomorrow.
That's correct. God bless. Thank you so much for coming. And we'll see you tomorrow night and see you next Monday back here at 3 p.m.